Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Mont from the School Counseling Office, and today I wanted to walk you through the steps of the Common Application process. You may have heard of the Common App. It is a widely used tool that's used by students to apply to a number of different colleges. It's so widely used that it's accepted at over 900 colleges and universities. So it really is a time saver in terms of applying to colleges. And I wanted to walk you through some steps today. So first things first, you would log on to the Common App using commonapp.org, and this would be the main page that you would see. On the main page, there's a couple of different tabs for you to consider. I often like to refer students to the first-time applicant guide. Here you're going to find a nice little layout of the application for first-time students, some tips and practices, important information about gathering your materials, creating an account, nice little video tutorials to help you walk through the process if you should have any questions. And always your counselors are available to help as well. So this is a nice little tool that is found right on the Common App's website, right on their homepage. I like this part first because it's important to gather your materials. Filling out your application does take some time. So this is really helpful to have the information ahead of time, have a copy of your high school transcript, have a list of your activities, your work and your family responsibilities, your test scores if your colleges are requiring them or wanting them, the parent and guardian information, and any academic honors or achievements you may have. I often like to tell students as well, and I'm going to try to share this as I go, to refer to our Holliston High School Common Application Frequently Asked Questions. We've put out this little cheat sheet for students to help them along the way in the college application process. And this is really good for the Common App, but it can also be applicable for other applications and institutional applications that you might be filling out as well. We often get the question, what is the class size? So this is really handy to have this information. What is our GPA scale and other helpful information, our classes, how they're listed, and so forth. So this is another really handy tool to use as you're going through the Common application. Okay, so back to the Common App. First things first, you want to create an account. As a first-time student, you're going to create an account. You're going to go to first-year student. Okay, you are going to list an email address. We would suggest you to use one that you commonly use, one that you check often. It might be a good idea to create an email address for your colleges, specifically for all of your college information, and that way it can all go to one central place. If you already have an email address that you're working in that you're comfortable with, totally fine. You can certainly use that email address. Often colleges and universities will send you information. So it's just important to know that you want to use or want to enter an email address that you use often. They're going to ask you for a password as well. Again, it might be helpful to store this information somewhere so that you have it should you need it when you're logging on each time. Maybe put it in your phone, maybe write it down on a piece of paper. That way you never lose it. Okay, they're going to ask you for first and last name. Please be sure that you are using the name as it appears on your official documents. So what this means is you're using your full legal name. You are using the name that's on your high school transcript. It should be the same name that you've given if you've been taking any College Board or ACT tests. You need to make sure that all of that is consistent so that you are the same person in the eyes of admissions. If they get different pieces of information with nicknames or other names, it gets confusing and they don't know who the information is coming in on. So just be sure that you're using your full legal name as it appears on your official documents, as it appears on your high school transcript. They're going to ask for your phone number. Once again, they're going to try to get in contact with you. So what number do you use often? What number do you check? Whether it's email or phone, they're going to try to get in contact if they have any questions, and your date of birth. You're going to enter as well. You're going to add in your address. They're going to ask you for some other information, and they're going to ask you to click on that you've read on the privacy policy before you create your account. Okay, if you filled out all of that, now you're going to click Create Account. Okay, I already have done that, so I'm going to go back into the login page. I'm going to put in our dummy account that we have created to help students along with this process. And we're going to try to get started. Okay, so the Common App is really nice. It has what they call a dashboard feature, a My Colleges tab, a Common App tab, a College Search tab, and a Financial Aid Resources tab. Okay, so they've listed out for us the colleges that we have indicated that we are interested in applying to. It's all here on our dashboard. You can see that there's more information, so it'll give you some information about each school, what's required, what's not required. If there's additional supplements, it's going to tell you. All of that is right here for you on the dashboard page. If there's any questions in terms of college-specific questions, supplements, any other questions that you have related to college, please don't hesitate to reach out to the admissions counselors at each college or university. They are here, they are ready to talk to you, they're eager to talk to you, and they're happy to answer any questions you might have. Also on this page is a neat little feature called Add Your Term or Admissions Plan. So if you look down here, some of these schools have information already posted on that, and you might be scratching your head saying, huh, how come, why? And the reason for that is because we've already filled out the term and admissions plan information. So what that means is you would click on this, you would say you're a full-time or part-time student, you would tell them what term you're planning on attending, fall or spring. You would choose the admissions plan. Some other helpful information. Sometimes it asks you for what school you might be applying to, arts and sciences, business program, whatever that might be. And then it actually stores that information for you. So you can see now that I put in regular decision, and it tells me when that deadline might be. So that's really helpful as you're going along with the process. Okay, so let's click over to College Search and actually getting in your information, getting in your colleges and building your dashboard, just like we have done for you already. Okay, so there's a nice little filter over here that shows you all the colleges that you can add into your Common App, or you can type in the name of your school. Okay, I've done that. Now it pops in. I click on it. I add it to my list of schools. Is this the right one? Yep, UMass Amherst, add to my colleges. And now it's going to appear under my dashboard. See, right there, okay? Okay, so that's how you add a school into your list. Okay, so the main part of the Common Application is what you fill out on the Common App side. So this will ask for all kinds of information, some basic information. So once again, you want to put in your full legal name, information as it appears on your transcript. Again, you want it to match. As you go through each of these sections, it'll ask you for additional information, okay? And as you can see, as you go through, some of the sections are completed, and some of them you need to obviously fill out. So we've already filled these out, which is why they're checked off in green. When they are filled out, they will be checked off in green. When they're still missing information, they will be blank. Okay, so let's go back up to profile. We're going to fill in this information. We're going to click continue, and it's going to send us to the next part of that section. So address is the next part of the section, contact information, how can they get in touch with you? Again, you want to make sure that you're putting in information that you check often. You want to make sure that you're using correct punctuation, correct grammar on all this. It might be a good idea to have a parent or guardian read this over for you and with you and fill out some of the section as you go. You're certainly going to need your parents or legal guardians information and support on the household information. So this is information you want to get from them as you're filling this out. The education section, we get a lot of questions with in terms of indicating what school you're in, indicating when you started, when your graduation date is. We've, again, preloaded some information, so you'll see all of that checked off in green. The decile information, class reporting information is all right there for you, okay? Current or most recent year courses, this is where you put your schedule information in. Again, that helpful cheat sheet that I showed you earlier is going to help you fill out this process. You want to get a copy of your schedule, and this is where you're going to list your courses as it appears on your schedule. Testing information is the next section. They're going to ask you to fill it out. They're going to ask what you're reporting, when you're reporting it. They're going to ask what test dates you're reporting. It asks for you the number of scores you wish to report, and it will adjust the information accordingly based on the number that you tell them. So as you're filling this out, you want to have your testing information and the dates of those tests reported with you so that you can report the information. The next section is the activities section. And as you're filling this out, you would, fill it out using the Dropbox, which information you want to put in. If you have a leadership position, if you want, if you had a specific role, you want to indicate that. Maybe you had some work experience you want to put in here. This is a good spot for you to do it. Please know that they have a maximum character number in some of these boxes. So it's character numbers, not words. So if you have a lot of information to put in, you might want to try to limit that down to essential information as you're going through this. They've given you 10 spots, 10 activities to list. And so as they revised this years ago, a few years ago, they had given students the opportunity to list 10 activities. So we would suggest to try to keep that to 10 as much as possible. If you feel like you have more and you wish to submit that information, you certainly can. A lot of students ask, should I submit a resume? If you have all of the information listed on your Common App, there is no need to submit a resume. But if you feel like there's additional information that's not necessarily shared on the application, you certainly can share that resume with the college admissions office. And how you do that is you just email it to the admissions office and ask them to add it to your file. Okay, the next section is the writing section. This is where your personal essay comes in. Based on our list of schools, they're telling us which schools are requiring a personal essay and which are not. And then it goes down to your essay prompts and filling in that information. Okay. Next section would be the discipline section, and then additional information. I want to highlight the additional information section. It's really, really good this year. They did put in an opportunity for students to give some information as to how COVID related to them and how it may have impacted them. It could be impacting you academically, athletically, socially, personally, could have impacted your family. So they asked you to share that information with them if you feel like you would like to. Maybe it's to say, my family was going through a really difficult situation, difficult time. It could be, I was the captain of the lacrosse team spring season and they canceled the season and it was devastating. So any information that you feel like you want to share, this is a good place to do it and a good place to explain what the spring looked like for you. Okay, so once all of that is done, all of these areas then will be checked off with a green check. That's when you know that your main application is complete. Then you also want to complete the My College section. So the My College section is specific to those colleges and universities. So in the My College section, you'll have specific questions specific to those schools. There's some general questions, and then there might be additional essay information. Okay, I'm going to show you a school. This one doesn't necessarily have any writing supplements, but this school does. And so this is what it would look like. If there was additional portfolio information, this is where you would find it. Okay, so all of this needs to be completed for all your schools. And when they're all checked off green, that's when you're ready to review and submit. Okay, one section I did want to highlight was what we call the recommenders and FERPA section. So let's click on that together. The recommenders and FERPA section will bring you to something called the FERPA release authorization. The FERPA stands for the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. It's an act that allows students to see the information that's submitted on their behalf when they're looking to colleges. And oftentimes they're seeing that information when they're a matriculated student at that university. So if you wanted to learn more about the FERPA, by all means, please educate yourself on what the FERPA is and what you need to know in terms of when you're applying to colleges with the FERPA agreement. As always, we would suggest you to talk to your families about how to fill out this section prior to doing it. And certainly you can talk to your school counselor about it as well. We're happy to answer any questions. So once you have the information about FERPA, you're going to click on the complete button. It's going to tell you again some information, and then you're going to say, yep, I have read and understood FERPA release authorization explanation above. So you're actually only going to do the FERPA once throughout this whole process, and once you do it for one school, it'll actually activate for all your schools. You're going to acknowledge that you've read it, and then it's going to ask you if you choose to waive or not waive your right to see your information that's submitted on your behalf. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You will sign it and date it, and then it will be saved. You'll save it and close it, and then it'll be saved in your section. When that happens, there's going to be a green check mark over here saying it's done, and that's going to actually pull for all of your other schools as well. There's also going to be a side that allows you to send recommenders emails and invite recommenders into your Common App to be able to send your information. You can certainly do it that way, especially if you have outside recommenders that you wanted to use as well outside of Holliston High School. You can certainly use that section. Once you're done with FERPA, what I would suggest is to go over then to the Naviance side and find your Naviance page. You're going to go, once you're in Naviance, there's two sections. There's colleges I'm thinking about and colleges I'm applying to. I want you to click on colleges I'm applying to. Colleges applying to is now going to have a box that comes up that says match account. Why this is important is because you want to match your Common App with your Naviance. It actually syncs up your information to allow your recommenders and Holliston High School Counseling Office ability to sync into your application so that we can send your materials electronically. We can send your letters of recommendation, we can send your transcript, we can send any other forms that we need to right to your schools by matching your accounts. So this is a huge helpful step in the process. So again, you're going to do the FERPA and Common App, and then you're going to come over to Naviance and you're going to match your accounts. Once you're done with that, I would recommend to go into Apply to Colleges and actually invite your teachers using letters of recommendation. So you're going to go into letters of recommendation, you're going to go into add a request, then you're going to see all the teachers' names and information. Okay, so you're going to click on a teacher, and then you're going to select either if you want all current and future colleges, I add to my colleges I'm applying to list for your teacher, or if you just want specific schools for that teacher. Okay, so this is where if you have more than one teacher who is writing letters of recommendation for you, and say the school is only allowing you to submit one, you would want to be sure that you tell each teacher which school they are supposed to be submitting your information to. Okay, so this is another helpful tool. You're going to submit your request, and then it sends that information to that teacher. Okay. So once you are then done with that, we're going to finish up our Common App. Once we've finished up our Common App, you'll see green check marks next to each of these areas in each of the schools. You will then review and submit. This is going to tell me I've got a lot of work to do, which is fine. I have a lot of work to do, but it'll kind of help you track the information that you need and what still needs to be done on your application. Once that's done, you will review it. You will pay the fee. There is an application fee with most of the schools. If you feel like you would qualify for a fee waiver, please don't hesitate to reach out to your school counselor, and we will walk you through the steps of that process. Once you put the fee in or the fee waiver code, then you will submit your application. So those are the steps to the Common App. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out to your school counselor if you have any questions along the way, and we are happy to help. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.